Devin Bond appears to be a typical teenage boy. But in the early morning hours of March 31st, 2017, he walks out of his parents' house and is never seen again. He leaves behind a series of clues, a cryptic note, mysterious surveillance footage, anonymous online connections. Those closest to Devin won't rest until they get answers. What happened to Devin Bond?
My name is Heather Bond, and I'm Devin's mother. When Devin was born, he changed my life. He was just my everything.
Born on December 27, 2000, Devin Bond grows up in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Murfreesboro is right outside of Nashville. There's a great sense of community in Murfreesboro. I always call him my easy child. He was a good kid. Devin never really ran around with the wrong crowd. We knew all the kids that he was friends with. They'd come over to our house, play video games together.
At 16, Devin begins spending time with one girl in particular.
They had been dating for about 2 months. I felt like she was a pretty nice girl. They were a cute couple. They seemed to really like each other.
But it's all about to change on Friday, March 31st, 2017.
On March 31st, I woke up. Both the kids were still asleep, and I just went to work.
On her way out, she runs into her husband, who is just coming home from a night shift. It is a day like any other.
I received a call from my husband, and he said that Devin was missing. My husband went and checked on Devin and noticed that there was sheets and towels stuffed under his blanket to make it look like he was sleeping.
Devin's mother decides to take an early lunch to go look for him.
I was thinking he snuck out or he was at a friend's house. So I knocked on the door of the friend's house that lives down the street, and I asked him, had he seen Devin? And he was like, no. I was like, have you talked to him today? And he said, no. And I was like, okay, well, if you see him, tell him to come home or to call us.
With each passing hour, his mom's frustrations turned to worry.
I started calling other friends, and when no one had seen him, I started to get really concerned. I kept calling his phone. I called it several times, but it always went straight to voicemail. I was asking myself, when Devin went missing, where could he possibly be? Nothing made sense with him being gone. Nothing.
At this point, the Bonds are convinced something terrible has happened.
Me and my husband got to the point where we're like, we don't know what to do. I call our local police department and tell them that I need to report my child missing.
My name is Detective Will Henson, and I've been investigating the disappearance of Devin Bond since March of 2017.
On the evening of Friday, March 31st, Devin Bond's parents officially file a missing persons report.
The Rutherford County Sheriff's Department responded. They took a report. They told us that they were going to send word to other law enforcement to be on the lookout.
Meanwhile, Devin's family continues their own search.
We actually call family to help search, to knock on neighbors' doors to see if they have seen anything. There was a lot of area around our house to search. He could be out in the woods.
It isn't until the next day that they get a hold of Devin's girlfriend.
I was like, well, when's the last time that you talked to Devin? And she said last night. And I was like, well, was he upset? Kind of is her answer. And then I immediately sent back, well, what do you mean by kind of? And she's like, well, I broke up with him last night around 7:30. And I started thinking, well, that's maybe something big. So I immediately reported that to the police. They asked for her number so they could call.
She felt like he spent more time paying attention to his phone, talking to his friends on social media, than he did paying attention to her. His ex-girlfriend seemed appropriately bewildered by this situation.
Could a painful breakup be a reason for Devin to disappear?
His ex-girlfriend had no idea where he could have gone. She said that he had never indicated any desire to leave.
If Devin's girlfriend doesn't know where he is, perhaps his online gaming profile could provide some answers.
I served Microsoft with legal process to find out who his friends were. He has a large list of friends on Xbox.
Devin maybe worked something out to meet someone online. The problem is that we don't know who he was talking to.
Did he meet up with one of his gaming friends in person?
I mean, that's the thought that goes through my head. Did he meet with somebody that he thought he knew that he really didn't know?
A couple of Devin's friends offer another theory.
I interviewed both of his closest friends in person. One of them indicated that Devin had voiced a desire to run away and live as a homeless person in Florida in the past. The other indicated that Devin was impulsive.
But police have to consider it could be a lot worse than that when the Bonds make a frightening discovery.
My husband's looking through the house for things that are missing, and that's when he discovered a handgun missing.
Devin's father noticed that a .45 caliber handgun was missing from his closet.
We don't know if he was maybe meeting somebody and felt like he needed protection just in case. Maybe he needed money and that he was going to sell the gun.
Did Devin intend to harm himself?
We know that he took clothes, things like that. It doesn't really match up to that theory. When most people intend to harm themselves, they don't take things with them. They're not thinking, I need clothes, I need my cell phone.
Tennessee police ramp up their search efforts.
We exhaustively searched those woods. One of his friends told us that that was a place that Devin had played, had spent a lot of time. We found nothing in those woods.
A week passes with no further sign of Devin. And then, police make a mysterious discovery.
They found a piece of paper in Devin's room, almost like where it was just like writing something down, like to remember. He wrote the number 7:30. I mean, is that a time? Is that a date? We don't, or is it just mean nothing at all? We don't know. It could be the time his girlfriend broke up with him.
Could the note help police find Devin? With Devin Bond missing for a week, police are hoping the note will give them a clue to where he went.
I have not been able to learn anything about the significance of that note. Nobody can tell me what it means.
As Devin's family struggles to understand his disappearance, investigators get an interesting tip. A neighbor's surveillance camera catches the Bonds' back porch light turning on around 3:30 a.m.
It appeared that somebody would have had to have intentionally turned the light on, turned the light off.
Could this be Devin leaving his house? Another tip comes in that someone may have seen him walking toward Veterans Parkway around 4:30 a.m.
It was an anonymous tip. They called in to report that they had seen him at 4 in the morning. They gave a similar clothing description, gray shirt, khaki pants.
We know that it's possible because of the time that it would have took for him to walk to our house to the area matches.
Cell phone activity confirms the location approximately 5 miles from Devin's home.
I believe the time is 4:50 a.m. that his phone pinged off a tower called Tiger Hill.
He took a fairly circuitous route away from his house.
Around 5:30 a.m., contact was cut off.
Devin's cell phone powered down, and it never powered back on. It's another hole in a puzzle.
Where was Devin headed that night?
It's possible that Devin was walking to the Greyhound bus stop in town.
In the years since Devin Bond went missing, Tennessee investigators have been scouring his social media, phone, and online gaming records for answers.
Some of the privacy features on some social media applications can be very frustrating from an investigative standpoint.
We actually got a billboard on the interstate, hoping that maybe if a truck driver picked him up or something, that they would see his picture and generate some kind of tip.
Devin's mom continues to organize searches and keep up a large social media presence.
I think the most plausible theories in this case are that he ran away and that he's had help avoiding detection.
As far as his family is concerned, Devin is still out there somewhere, and they are determined to find him.
We keep sharing his information, keep doing the flyers. We have t-shirts and bracelets. We have car decals that we have for Devin, trying to just reach as many people as we can.
I would ask that viewers remain vigilant. I would ask that if they believe they see Devin, that they call their local police department as soon as possible.
We're offering a reward for a tip that leads to his safe return. He has blondish brown hair, brown eyes. He's about 6 foot, 160 pounds.
It would be great if we found him soon.
If Devin was able to watch this or see this somehow, just tell him that we love him so much and we miss him. And We're never gonna give up until we find him and that he can come home.